It avoids proof that it is there and slips through before it is touched. But if you listen carefully, you can hear it. The edge of a leaf trembles slightly. A spiral of sand carves an invisible trail, and a breath quietly unravels in the depths of one's lungs. The wind passes between people with ease, without fuss or strife, but certainly with a touch. It gently swells at the boundary of our consciousness, a faint proof that lights up the gap between life and death. It is a silent chain of silent sounds that do not shout like a storm, but quietly fill the lungs and mingle with the beating of the heart. When someone tries to question it, the wind also passes blindly. It blows through, forgotten but certainly there. Eventually, one realizes. Until the moment of one's last exhalation, the wind has simply been there. The invisible breath loses its form in the tranquility, drawing a circle like a ripple, spreading out without knowing its source. But if you listen carefully, you can occasionally hear a faint rustle. Without bending the knee to the transience of life, it quietly caresses the world, and sometimes it disappears, leaving only a hint of its presence. Between silence and echo, a colorless impulse that can be nothing yet carries everything. Each time it passes through the throat, the words are stripped of meaning and become only a clear, empty exhalation. Because it has no will, it slips through the world peacefully and disappears into the boundary that belongs to no one. The world continues to resonate without a voice. The silence that resides in the space between breaths weaves an unfinished chant that will eventually gently touch someone's heart. Breathe. Breathing is simply being, without saying anything. It is like the wind, faintly but surely. The subtlety that cannot be caught in the web of language, that cannot even be touched, is that of someone who lives in the cracks of the waves themselves. Its breath becomes a whisper in people's ears and a heartbeat in their chests. The boundary between the wind and the breath of the people fades, and unspoken thoughts blur in the sky. It is as if the breath of the universe comes and goes like a ripple. The more invisible something is, the sharper its outline is. For example, time. For example, hesitation. For example, a breath that escapes. They are ephemeral, filling the place and then fading away before we realize it. Human words have horns and sometimes fly against the wind. But the silence fills the atmosphere faster than the words reach us. The margin between speaking and not speaking is the place that is pregnant with the deepest meaning. The silence of this world is never silent. It is just so calm that everyone calls it the wind. It is not the wind that blows, but the world itself that secretly urges us to breathe. To live is to be part of the silent wind, to rustle, tremble, and melt. I dream that one day our breath will be the wind that caresses someone's cheek. In the blink of an eye, a single breath will caress the world. Is it called wind, or is it just a shimmer? Rather, it is a whisper of the moment when life takes on the shape of its own contour. A faint tear that brings fraying to the fabric of time. Breath is not merely blown. It stitches the space between emptiness and overflowing, and marks a faint light on the ambiguous piece. Just as the heart beats, the wind also listens to the heartbeat of the world. But it is too gentle, too fleeting. Like a single stroke of a cloud crossing the sky, it disappears without a name, turning its back on the laws of the world, without being seen by anyone's eyes. To be forgotten is the surest proof of one's existence. It never speaks, never writes, it just blows, shakes, and disappears. That breath is the purest trace of life, quietly, calmly, and surely. The truth that lurks in the shimmering tug of emptiness, a mirror that can reflect anything, is found in the wind that holds nothing. The rhythm, which cannot even be touched, continues chanting in a dimension beyond our conception. Its voice is the mystery itself, stripped of words, a solitary rhyme drifting in the vortex of samsara. The fragility and simplicity, the rift and knot, all are fragments of the nameless form of the wind. The wind, filled with stillness, blurs the contours of time, and like a breath of air, it plays a quiet, unresonant sound. A breath snatching at someone's throat, a faint shadow shaking someone's eyelids. It is a remnant of a promise made some time ago, or a silent proof. Unspoken words dissolve in the air without meaning, and what was once a voice is transformed into a mere flicker. The wind does not speak. It knows that not speaking is the key to breaking the silence. It blows silently, neither resisting nor dominating, just an eternal rustle that disappears and is born again. It is fleeting, yet gentle. It moves no one, and yet it changes everything.